the most recent incident that I spoke about earlier, Jacob Blake. Hello, global citizen, and welcome to Mindful Travel, where we are promoting humanity through cultural awareness. Now, if you are not new to my channel, you probably noticed that my demeanor today is not as high energy, not as bubbly as you have come to be accustomed to me. So for all my subscribers, I'm sorry that I'm not here with the energy that I usually give. But today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is extremely important for understanding. I had a client actually ask me this question, and she totally didn't understand what it means to say that Black people are exhausted. Black people are drained. Black people are tired. So today, I'm going to share with you exactly what it means to be drained. Exactly what it means when you hear someone say Black people are drained or Black people are tired. So if you're interested in understanding that, stay tuned. So today, global citizen, we are going to talk about exactly what it means when you hear Black people are exhausted. When you hear a Black person say that they're exhausted, or you read Black people are tired, or maybe you saw it on social media because there are a lot of Black influencers that are activists that have been saying that they need a break and or they're just tired, or please don't inbox me because I am drained. Now, that may come off as harsh, that may come off as they don't want to help you, but the truth is that it is very draining and exhausting being Black. And that's why today I'm going to share with you exactly what that means to open your mind and open up your awareness, and also give you some tips as to how you can help to not be a part of that drainage. So this video actually was inspired and is dedicated to Jacob Blake, who is a gentleman that, thanks be to God, didn't lose his life after being shot 7 times by police officers. So after George Floyd, after Breonna Taylor, we really thought that all of the protesting, all of the media coverage and everything was putting us in the right direction. But Jacob Blake comes just 2 months, maybe 3 months after we had the George Floyd incident, which has still not received justice. Breonna Taylor still has not received justice. So today I'm going to give you exactly 7 reasons why Black people are tired, as well as 7 things that you can do to help us to take some of that exhaustion away. Reason number 1 that Black people are tired is we are tired of having to have conversations about how not to die with our kids. Now, that might sound a little bit excessive, but it's actually the truth. Any Black parents, it used to be specifically or more so geared towards male children, but now the female children, as Breonna Taylor has showed us, we have to have that same conversation, whether that's when they get their license or at whatever point in their life. We have to tell them, you know, when you come in contact with a police officer, you have to remember to be respectful. You have to, show your hands, do whatever they tell you. And the recent videos have showed us that even that is not enough to save our children. So that is exhausting, having to have that conversation. And it's even more exhausting to have that conversation and still see that in society, having that conversation is not enough. Because abiding by all the laws, not carrying a firearm, going out for a simple leisurely jog can get you murdered. So that in and of itself is a reason to be exhausted. Reason number 2 is one word that is my absolute pet peeve, and if you have been watching my videos, you know, and that word is microaggressions. Microaggressions, again, are, racial slurs or little comments, and can even be compliments that are towards a certain group. And today, this video is all about Black lives. I am a person that is definitely a person that's all about diversity for all. I'm definitely all about bringing awareness as it relates to anti-racism, which is like being anti-Jewish, being anti-Arab, being anti-Asian, whatever it is. But this video today is specifically geared towards anti-Blackness. So those microaggressions, for those sales people, if you work in sales and you follow the Black person that comes into your store around, please stop that. If you are a person that's always like, oh, you're so pretty for a Black girl, please stop that. If you are a person that is in awe of any articulation or any type of academic honor for a Black person, don't tell us, wow, you should be so proud of yourself, for doing XYZ. Don't do that. Microaggressions in and of themselves, maybe one, maybe two, can be annoying, but when you have to go through 6, 7, 8, 10 microaggressions in a day, because remember that I am a Black person, but I'm also a woman. So I have to also deal with those microaggressions that are towards women. I'm also thick. I also have to deal with those microaggressions towards people that, are more thick and voluptuous. So take away one of those microaggressions by just not thinking before you speak. Think before you speak. Think about what you're saying. If it is possibly offensive, don't say it. If it's something that you say, oh, I think I should say this, but I'm not sure if this person will be receptive to it, 9 out of 10, it will not add to the conversation. It will not change the price of cheese in China. So just refrain from saying it. And that is one less microaggression in a Black life. The third reason we are exhausted, it also relates to microaggressions, is always being the Black. When we're introduced, we are the Black friend. When a coach, a sports coach or anybody does something that's great, he is a great Black coach. If someone does something for the first time, they are, wow, a Black person did it. If you see a woman that is beautiful and she has extremely dark skin, and you tell her, oh, you're so beautiful, your Black skin is so beautiful. We don't always want to be the Black. We don't always want to have that at the forefront of everything, because, that just reminds us that being Black is something that's always at the forefront of people's minds. Before I am, a good doctor, I'm a good Black doctor. Before I am, a good coach, I'm a good Black coach. Before I am a beautiful woman, I am a beautiful Black woman. So definitely I would just stay away from that in every situation. That's not negative, but when it's always at the forefront, like you're always reminded, you're Black, you're Black, you're Black. Anything you do is spectacular to us because we didn't expect it of you because you're Black. Stay away from that, people. Stay away from it. It's draining. The fourth reason that Black people are exhausted is having to try twice as hard to get half the results. Now in this, I am specifically talking about when it comes to the job market. We talked about in one of the previous videos, the video that talks about, the do's and don'ts of allyship, and also the video that talks about systemic racism, both linked in the comments below. I speak about the statistics of Black people versus white people when it comes to getting interviews. In several of my previous videos, I talk about the ratio of Black to white when it comes to going the next step and getting interviews. And it's not equal. A Black person and a white person can put in the exact same resume with the exact same credentials, coming from the exact same schools and the exact same industries, and the white person would get the job more often than the Black person. Even if you are a Black person that has a English standard English name, like your Marys or Jessicas of the world, versus the Natasias of the world, you are more likely to get a job than I would be. Or not even the job, we're just talking about the interview. So, you see unemployment rates being high in Black communities. A part of that is because we don't even get the chance to show you us. The interview is where people have the opportunity to really show themselves and put themselves beyond the pack. But if you just look at my resume and you see my name and you already turn me down, do you know how many turn downs that is? Do you know how many times we have to put in application after application after application to get no's just because of the colors of our skin? And like I said, right now I'm talking about equal resumes. I worked in HR and I know exactly what I'm talking about. Your resume looks the same. You went to Harvard, I went to Yale. You worked at Four Seasons, I worked at the Hyatt, and we worked in similar positions. But I don't get the job. I don't get the callback. I don't get the opportunity to show my personality. I don't get the opportunity to even be considered for the next step of the job because I'm a Black girl named Natasha. And that is exhausting. The fifth reason that it is exhausting to be Black is that we have to actually fight for self-love. Now, what do you mean, Natasha? Because guess what? I'm a Black girl and I love myself. When I say that, I mean that when we look at media and we look at society and we look at, social norms and everything like that, and systemic racism, which there's an entire video about that you should check out. We know that these systems, these ways of thinking basically make it so that Black is not beautiful. We have had to fight. We have had to campaign. We have had to go the extra step just to help ourselves and our youth feel that Black is beautiful. We had to go the extra mile just to be able to really, deeply love ourselves and know that, whatever society says about the Black community, it's not true. All of those negative things that are connected to the Black community, they're not true. And having to try to rise above what society thinks should be our plateau. That's exhausting, guys. That is exhausting. Okay. The sixth reason being Black is exhausting is because killing us is a first option versus a last resort. There are so many names that I can call. The most recent ones, like I said earlier, Breonna Taylor. She was innocently sleeping in her bed. And rather than the first option being to try to get some identification, rather than the first option being to, try to maybe even tase her, I don't know, whatever, even though she did not even deserve that. But the first option after an altercation was to kill her. The most recent incident that I spoke about earlier, Jacob Blake. Thank God in heaven, he is still alive today. But there were 3 cops. 3 cops. And 1 man with kids in his car, might I add. And I find it really difficult to believe that those 7 shots in the back, which obviously means that he was not in attack mode. He was not trying to, bring force against the officers. 7 shots in the back. And he was the only person on that scene that was shot. So, no weapon. You should watch the video. It's very difficult to watch, but to get a full understanding of what I'm talking about having the first option be to shoot and kill us. Because when those police officers shot him 7 times, I find it hard to think that they were not shooting to kill. Unless they are the best shooters in the world, if I shoot somebody 7 times, I would expect them to die. And that's just my personal opinion. So that is exhausting. That is exhausting to know that, whatever police training is going on, it obviously cannot say that a person's life should be taken as the last resort. Because we see unarmed people too often not being able to go back home to their kids, their wives, their mothers, their families, their communities. And that is so exhausting. The seventh point is that injustice in the Black community is exhausting. Imagine that you owned a convenience store and someone came into your convenience store and completely robbed you, took everything. And then 2 months later, another person comes in and they rob you. And 2 months later, another person comes in and they rob you. Now you don't have anything. You've lost your house. You've lost your family. You've lost everything. And you have each person that has done this on video. And guess what? It was your security guard. It was the person that was supposed to be protecting your store. And they stole everything from you. And the cops refuse to do anything. They have the person on video. They have the person stealing on video. They have identified the person. They know where the person is. They know where the person lives. And they would not convict them of robbery. Now, if you think that is exhausting, I want you to understand that for the Black community, they're not robbing us of Coke sodas, of pasta, of a few dollars from a cash drawer. They're robbing us of us. And there is no justice. This is probably the most exhausting thing. I am exhausted. I am so exhausted. Exhausted by the fact that in any other case where there is video footage, there is no doubt of the murderer. There is no doubt of the murder taking place. There is no doubt of the lack of defense in these cases. And yet, not only did this not go to trial, but there is not even a conviction. And the names that we know are names of the people that we know. Do you know how many hundreds or thousands of people who've probably died at the hands of policemen in the past? But there was no video footage to let the rest of us know what's going on. So this is part 1 of why Black people are exhausted. So, like I said, there are some influencers that say, I'm so exhausted, please don't DM me. Please, just give me a moment. And I completely understand where they're coming from. For me, I am exhausted, specifically in this moment, in the wake of Jacob Blake. But I do still want to help you. I want to help you because by helping you, I help us. By giving you this content, This Allyship 101 is not about anything else but helping you to be a better ally. That's what it's about. It's about showing you the ways that you can be a better ally. Now, these videos cannot convert you into allyship. The only person that can convert you to allyship is you. The shootings will not do it. Watching the videos will not do it. You have to make a conscious decision to show up every day as an ally for the Black community. And tomorrow and in the next video, I am going to give you some ideas as to exactly how you can do that. So stay tuned. Next week, I will be sending you all of the juicy details. So stay tuned and look out for the next video next week, where you can take everything that you heard today. I want you to digest that. I want you to reflect on that. I want you to take moments to try to empathize with what I just said, all 7 of the points that I just said, and understand that each of these 7 is not, this happens on a Tuesday, this happens on a Thursday, this is a monthly occurrence. No, these are things that happen simultaneously. So if it's exhausting as one singular thing, imagine how exhausting it is when you have a microaggression and a person dying and you applied for a job that you didn't get because you're Black, all on a Monday morning. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch this Allyship 101 series. Thank you for taking the time to educate yourself on how to be a better ally. And if I can assist you at all in the allyship journey, please feel free to leave a comment below. Please feel free to message me. Please feel free to email me. And if you enjoyed this, please share it. Please share it. This video, if you've never shared any of my videos before, I want you to share this because I want more people to understand and better be able to empathize with why the Black Lives Matters movement, why all of these protests, why all of this uproar, why everything has to happen, because we're exhausted. Thank you. Please subscribe and have an amazing